Happy New Year. It's another edition of the Role Players Podcast. I am your host, Byron, along with Mr. Know-It-All, Jay. We are the Role Players. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and home of the Role Players, Spreaker, and several other platforms. Don't forget to hit the share and the play button, or the play and then the share button on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Man, we have made it to the end of the NFL season, and what a crazy ride it has been. Not just for the NFL, but sports in general. College football has been crazy. NBA, not so much. But college basketball has been an up and down coaster. But that NFL thing has been crazy since August. Well, really since March. It's been a crazy year for the NFL, Jay.
The NFL has been ridiculous, man. It's been crazy. It's actually been a very entertaining year. Me being a 49er fan, man, I've been on the edge of my seat, man, probably for about the last 6 or 7 weeks.
I bet you have been on the edge of your seat. Y'all been looking edgy.
We've been looking edgy, you think so?
Yeah.
I a lot of people, one of my friends is a 49er fan, and we talk, we talk after every game, before every game. And he hits the panic button a lot. Maybe I don't hit the panic button that bad because I used to play. But it's little things that people worry about, and I'll be like, it's football. These guys are paid professionals. How many times have, let's say, do the Yankees win every game 10-0?
No, but if we're talking about the same 49er fan that I think we're talking about, he hit the crisis button.
Yeah. We're talking about the same one.
Like, it is too much.
He's actually worried about things he shouldn't be worried about.
I think the NFL should install a viewer discretion advised logo on in front of the game for individuals like that. Because look, guys, at the end of the day, it's just a game, and we're fans.
Yeah, they're paid professionals. And I mean, when the 49ers lose, I'm somewhat upset, but I'm not.
It's not life altering.
It's not life altering. Maybe I have a bad evening that day, and I'm kind of like, I don't want to watch football for the rest of the day.
Yeah, you might be done with it for the day,
but after that, man, I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty good to move on and love my life.
I see these social media videos and everything. People smashing stuff into TVs. People getting pissed off and having tantrums and everything. Look, it has never will be that serious for my Jaguars, Magic, Hokies, Mariners, Huskies. None of that. It's never going to be that serious.
I had an issue, and we can move on real fast to something else. We could talk about something else. But I had an issue this year. I coach football, and we lost a game that we really was prepared for. So, I mean, we had went out, filmed the other team. We actually knew the other team plays. Like, every time they ran a play, we knew exactly where it was going. Our kids just didn't respond. And one of the coaches messaged me the whole weekend, and I said, man, I'm kind of busy, man, because I feel like leave it on the field. Don't take it home with you. When you take it home with you and you're not eating, you're taking a loss, you're going to lose, man. That's like life. You're going to lose some, you're going to win some. Don't take it off the field. And fans don't need to take it. It's supposed to be entertainment. They don't need to take it out of their TV, because at the end of the day, for all you Dallas fans, Jerry Jones don't know who the hell you are.
Never will.
It's good for you to love him through and through and have your heart invested.
But
don't take it so hard.
You are, in the grand scheme, you're not even Andrew Jackson to Jerry Jones. You are a Lincoln.
Yeah, you're a Lincoln.
You're a Brown Lincoln.
You're a Brown Lincoln. So the fans that take it too hard, I mean, and I'm very competitive. I love the entertainment. I hate losing. But when I walk off that field as a coach, I leave everything on that field. I don't believe in crying after the games. I had a friend that cried after games, and he was kind of like, ugh. I'd be like, man, what are you doing crying? Now, some guys cry, you know.
There's no crying in football.
But, you know, I've never won a championship. I've never won a championship coaching, playing. So, if I won a championship, I don't know. I may cry.
Well, you know, you'll
but I'm
cry
not
for
crying.
joy.
I'm not crying for losing, man.
No, man. Look, man. If you are beyond the age of what you want to say, 17, I'll say 17. I'll say 17. If you want to shed a tear for a
man,
loss.
Once you're 10 or older, you shouldn't be crying for football. I tell my kids.
No, I'll give it a pass.
No, man, I don't give my guys.
Okay, high school.
I don't give my kids a pass.
13.
And I coach 10-year-old boys this season.
Okay, so you say 10, I say 13.
I say, man, I don't want you cut out all the crying, man, because you have to look in the mirror. That's when it starts. That's when the accountability starts. Me playing for that next man beside me.
Okay.
Look yourself in the mirror. Long as you give 100%, and you know you give 100%, man, cut all that crying. There's no crying in baseball.
So let's split the difference. 12 years old, you got to cut out the tears. Now, these guys, you know, I know sometimes I watch on the sideline and it's guys crying in football, but they are in football. But from a fan perspective, look, man, you got to cut that out in your early teenage years, really before you're a teenager, because it's not that serious.
There's nothing wrong with getting an argument.
Yeah, if you want to get into a heated debate, I mean, yeah, if you're in the game.
Yeah.
If you're in the game, that's a whole nother thing. I understand you've put a lot of work in. That can become a bit emotional. But for a fan, fans have got to stop.
Fans got to stop, man. And I'm a diehard 49er fan, man. You know me, man. When the 49ers is playing, I won't move. I'm going to make sure I'm set in front of the TV or at the sporting event 15 minutes before it starts. At least 15 minutes. I am ready to go. But when we lose, I may during the heat of the moment, I say, man, you know, you gotta run more, you gotta pass more. But hey, man, I give myself a day, the rest of that day, to think and be upset, say what I need to say, and then I move on, man. I won't carry the loss into Monday, into Tuesday, into Wednesday, into Thursday, into the next week. No, sir. I'm not burning jerseys. I'm not smashing TVs.
You smash my TV. That's not going to be the only thing smashed that day.
So speaking of being smashed, it's been a lot going on. What do we call it? Do we still call it Black Monday? Or have they changed that?
Oh, it's Black Monday.
So it's been a lot going on, man. A couple coaches actually has been hired. And then you have a couple that's been fired. And then you have Dallas in limbo where they don't know. It's been reports of him being fired, reports of him being retained. Me personally, I think that they're going to move in another coach and move him to a higher position within the organization. And just it's going to be a mutual agreement for him to step down. What do you think?
As far as who's stepping down?
For the Cowboys.
Yeah, you know, it's getting weird.
We got breaking news, don't we?
Yeah, for the Browns.
For the Browns.
The Browns GM is finally thinking about stepping down.
Yeah, thinking about parting ways.
Yeah, it's been time. But as for the Cowboys, look, this whole Jason Garrett thing, the guy's been with the team since Jerry Jones could have birthed a child of that age. He's pretty much
a
Cowboy blood.
He's a Cowboy.
He's a Jones.
Yeah,
he's a Jones. Let's just put it that way. They keep saying that they're going to relieve him of his head coaching duties. The way that I read a report, it was worded weirdly because I said, well, okay, it sounds to me, and I'm going with a gut feeling. It sounds as if he's going to be relieved of coaching duties. But yeah, he's going to take maybe some front office role or maybe some analytics role.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be the role of a Cowboy.
Like he's going to be helping, I'm kind of thinking he's going to be helping Jerry Jones make decisions on this team. And they're going to move in another head coach. So this is the sticky situation. Who in the hell is going to come coach that situation? See, that's the problem that Jerry Jones is going to create. Who are they going to get to coach? Because it's kind of be like you're a puppet.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's going to be like.
And to me, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I can see bad coaching a mile away. I can see great coaching a mile away. I can see poor decisions. To me, man, and you might call me not Mr. Know-It-All, or you might call me not that smart, but I got a sneaky suspicion that Jason Garrett is not the reason why they're losing. I just got a feeling that, because 1 week we score 47, next week we score 3. 1 week we score 45, next week is 10. 1 week is 25, next week is 15. So I got a problem with, because when I name Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb, Tavon Austin's, some of the defensive players they have. Do we really have guys? Just think about their roster. Do we have a great roster at hand? But do we really have guys that's known for not showing up in big times? No one has really had any success but Zeke Elliott.
Yeah. You made a good point. I truly don't believe it's Jason Garrett, because if you look at what Jason Garrett has been stripped of, Jason Garrett is nothing more than a figurehead that goes out on the sidelines and claps his heart away every Sunday, sometimes on a Monday, sometimes on a Saturday. But it's Jason Garrett. It's nothing more than, hey, we like you, we love you, we want you to be a part of this, whatever it's going to be. But we don't want you to be in charge of the defense. We don't want you to be in charge of the special teams. We don't want you to be in charge of the offense anymore. We don't want you to be the final say-so person on the coaching decision on the field. What the hell is he then? Because if you have all of these coordinators and assistant coaches and all that, Jason Garrett is a figurehead. So you really have to look at who the assistants are. Who are the pawns? Because that's what Jason Garrett is. He's a pawn. The coaches are pawns. The main shot caller in Dallas is Jerry Jones. That's all it is. Yeah. Jerry Jones will forever have a troublesome team. It's always going to be troublesome because he wants to have control. And like Jerry Jones said, he signs the checks. So as long as he's signing the checks, it's not going to be anything other than Jerry Jones' show.
You know who I want to talk to about Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys?
Man, who?
I want to talk to Jimmy Johnson, because I'm kind of curious at this point, because Dallas has got to be one of the unluckiest franchises, man, because they've had chances to win and something go wrong. Like what just happened the last 2 weeks of the season? Dallas rode the whole season, and then mysteriously Philly jumps up. All these freaking injuries they have, they win a game. And then Dallas lose, and then they win another game. Yeah. So I'm kind of curious, when Jimmy Johnson walked out the building, did he put a hex on these guys, or did he have a voodoo doll, or did he talk to the voodoo daddy?
The voodoo daddy.
What was it? What was really said when he left out? Because at this point, who was that? The great Bambino who walked across? And they said the goat said they weren't going to win.
Oh yeah.
Who got kicked out of the game for having the goat? Wasn't that the Cubs? Got kicked out of the game having the goat. And he said, you won't win a World Series for 100 years.
Yeah, man. It's and
then they didn't win for 100 years.
I don't know, man. maybe Jerry Johnson did do something.
That's pretty interesting.
It'll be interesting to see who will be the next Cowboys, I guess, shot caller. But I don't know, because there's only certain type of guys that can go to Dallas. You have the Dave Campos, the Jason Garretts, the Bill Parcells, and the Jimmy Johnsons are too much.
I think, and it may be too much, but I think, and you might laugh at this, I think Jim Harbaugh should go to the Cowboys.
Jim Harbaugh is a yes man.
Yeah.
He would be a good fit for the Cowboys. And it's obvious this thing in Michigan is going down in flames. He can't beat Ohio State. The only way to get beyond where they are is to beat Ohio State. I don't see Ohio State being sorry anytime soon. So maybe it is time for Jim Harbaugh to go back into coaching, especially with the Cowboys.
I think Jim Harbaugh would tell, because Jerry Jones kind of listened to Parcells. There was no bad blood when these guys parted ways. You know, it was kind of like, well, you know, my time was up here. Yeah. I think Jerry Jones would listen to what Jim Harbaugh input would have on this team. I think they would coexist.
I think so. I think it would be possible, you know, for them to get the job done together. But, you know, I don't know where this Dallas Cowboy thing is going. I know where it hasn't been since 95. What, 95? I know where it has not been for over a decade.
I wonder if Troy Aikman, what's the conversations these guys have? Because Troy Aikman makes it no bones when he's calling Cowboy games, he will slay. He will slay the Dallas Cowboys.
It's funny you should mention that because Jerry Jones went finally on the record talking about the criticism of Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
Talking about the Cowboys. And he said Troy Aikman wouldn't do anything differently than what Jerry Jones is doing. And, you know, I said, you might be right. For what it's worth, Jerry Jones does make moves. He makes okay moves.
He tries.
The Cowboys are not that bad. It's just the separation between owner, president to coach and player personnel. That's where the disconnect comes in. If he takes his hands out of that pot, stop coming down to the sideline, stop commenting on every little thing that the Cowboys do right or wrong, I think it would straighten up and fly right. Because he makes okay moves. It's actually some talent out there on the field. But he has to take a back seat, man. He has to take a back seat, and he never will. We're not talking about anything because Jerry Jones isn't going anywhere. And it may sound a little grim, but the only place he's going after Dallas is the grave.
Oh, man.
So
speaking of the grave, we had a lot of teams who was graved and shelved this season. Who do you think, because out of John Gruden, you had the John Grudens, you had the Browns, you had the Jets. They was hyped up during the season. You had the Bills sneaking out of nowhere and becoming competitive. The Giants, the story with Eli Manning, you know, and then you had the Vikings almost. Who do you think? Because I have a couple stories. I have a couple things that I'm intrigued with right now, and then I have a couple things that I was kind of disappointed in. I want to see how it goes. Who do you think? Who was the hot story of the season, and who gave you cold pizza?
Oh man, hot story of the season for me, and you know I know it would be, you know, the move to choose some of the top teams or whatever. But I will say that the hot story of the season for me was absolutely the Cleveland Browns. Hot story of the season.
That's a reality show.
They fired Freddie Kitchens. They're talking about moving on from Dorsey at GM. They're in a mess. They are in a mess because where do you go? You have Odell, Landry. You have all of this talent. They're talking about giving up on Njoku because they said, well, you know, maybe it's just time to move on from Njoku, the tight end. The team is in disarray. That was the best, the hottest, the freshest, the most complete meal in the NFL. When they finally would do something right, then they would say something wrong. When they said something right, they would do something wrong. You could not miss a moment of the Cleveland Browns season. That was it for me. Cold pizza. I don't know, man. It was a lot of cold pizza in the NFL. I would say it was my Jaguars. I wasn't that surprised. But I'm looking at you, Phillip Rivers.
That's personal.
No, it's not personal. He made it personal when he went after 9-1. When he went after Ngakoue, man, that made it personal. But now the Chargers, man, you finally have everything that you need in place. And maybe it started with Melvin Gordon. I don't know. Maybe it started with Melvin Gordon, but he held out. The team had some injuries coming into the season. Bosa wasn't quite ready to start out the season. But this was still a team where you said, okay, you have the Chiefs, you have the Patriots, you have probably the Ravens, depending on how Lamar Jackson does. And then it turned into, but who's that third or fourth team in the AFC? Like, legitimately. And maybe it was the Texans. But the one team that you knew would be in the mix was the Chargers. Got a quarterback, got receivers, got a tight end, got a decent offensive line. You got the running backs. Defensively, you have the pass rush. You got a linebacker core that's pretty solid. Defensive backs, yeah, you lost Derwin James for most of the year, but the defensive backs were ready. They were coined the best secondary last season. And then you get here and you delivered, what, 6 wins, 5 wins? And it's like, what the hell, man?
Yeah,
you're getting
crazy.
ready to go to the new stadium. You're getting ready to start up a new history in Chargers football history. You can't sell tickets where you're sharing the space. Well, no, I don't even think they're sharing that space with the Rams anymore.
No.
But you can't sell tickets. Where is this team going, man? This is cold pizza. We're supposed to be going into wild card weekend either A, saying, boy, I don't know who's going to go face the Chargers in round 2, because they were on paper that good. And then or either looking at it saying wild card weekend, that's going to be a tough out if you got to play the Chargers. And here we are. And Phillip Rivers saying he wants to continue his career, because I think by now he knows where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he knows that, well, hey, I'm no different from Jameis Winston in the grand scheme of things. I throw a touchdown, and I'm probably going to throw an interception too. When does it end, man? And where do you go from here? Melvin Gordon has already confessed, hey, guys, I set out and it was the worst thing I ever did. They don't have a direction, man.
No,
they don't have a future.
No, they don't have a future. They don't have a future right now. It was and the Falcons still don't have a future. I'm kind of interested. Sometimes I can understand why you bring back a coach, but sometimes I kind of say, well, why didn't you let him go? But I'm gonna start with my cold pizza. My cold pizza it's got to be the LA Rams, man. The LA Rams is that was kind of a train wreck that you didn't see falling off the tracks. And then one day it just smacked. And then you got a message and you say, oh, the tracks, the Rams train have jumped tracks. And it's like I kind of think the Rams panicked a little bit because, of course, my 49ers, 13-3, we got off to a hot start. I love my Niners. I called it at the season, 13-3. But, of course, I don't think they were expecting the 49ers and the Seahawks to be as good as they was early on. And then it was kind of like, oh, man, we're losing a couple games here. We got to do something to shake it up. So, of course, they was clearly having problems internally inside the locker room on the defensive side of the ball. Whenever something's going on one side of the ball, you don't know if they pointing fingers at the offensive side of the ball or pointing fingers at each other. But clearly, man, these Rams got problems. They got balloon contracts.
Yeah.
Your quarterback maybe not. He may not be as good as you thought he was. And you just got balloon contracts all over the place. So I'm kind of interested to see what the Rams are going to do with this team in the offseason. because they have no draft picks. You gave that off for Jalen Ramsey, thinking you can catch fire and maybe sneak in as a wild card. You need clearly upgrades at your offensive line. Your offensive line is atrocious. Your running back room is a little thin. Your wide receivers, they need an elite quarterback. Your defense is kind of trending downward. So I'm curious, who's movable on this team that can bring a draft pick that won't hurt the team?
Dude, I don't know where the Rams are going to go. I do know, well, I don't know how they can fix it. I have a great sense of where they're going. You know what? I'm going to just go ahead and call it because that's what the business is. That's what it is.
Call a spade a spade.
That's what the business is of what we do. We the role players and we tell it like it is.
Yeah.
The Rams are finished.
They're finished.
Now,
they're done.
In theory, they're talking about restructuring Jared Goff's contract. But they're only restructuring the contract so that they can take on the dead cap hit of Cooks. And I was like, okay, so you're going to move money to cover up lost money. Like, there's no way to fix this. There's no way to fix this Rams team.
Cooks is a free agent. Am I correct? Or is he?
No.
One of the
he's not a free agent, but they have to find a way to get
a free agent.
Cooper Kupp may be a free agent, but they need to find a way to move the money so that they can get players. Because the salary cap is pushed to the limit.
Oh yeah, it's pushed to the limit.
And even when you move money, if you restructure Jared Goff's contract, it's only going to get restructured so that you can trade Brandon Cooks to free up a little bit more money. And they're just chipping away, man. They're chipping away. The truth of the matter is, if they cannot secure some legs coming out of that backfield to replace what they've lost in Gurley, they are not going to get anything out of Jared Goff. Nothing.
So let me ask you this. And sometimes you have to do this to move forward. Do you think they can win? Do you think they can win without Aaron Donald?
No. They can't win without Aaron Donald. He is the defense.
He is the defense. So how do you feel about, I don't know, I'm gonna go elsewhere because they are finished.
They're done.
My most intriguing story for the season, and it's been a tale of 2 seasons. It's been a tale of night and day. You remember when Dan Marino played his last game?
Oh boy, do I remember.
John Elway?
Yeah.
Steve Young?
Yep.
Marshall Faulk?
No. Where you going?
Edge James. I'm going up north right to Boston. Boston, Massachusetts.
You're talking reckless.
I'm curious, man, because
you're reckless.
Did we witness the start of the fall of the dynasty last weekend with a loss? Because hear me out.
You talking about the loss to the Dolphins?
Yeah, because hear me out.
Oh man, come on.
New England hasn't played on Wild Card Weekend since 2009, 2008. Hold on.
Okay.
They also having a hard problem keeping leads. They're having a hard problem scoring.
Yeah.
The defense is starting to get tired on one side of the ball.
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, it was like, man, this guy's looking like Brett Favre out here, man. They can't stop this guy. It's fourth quarter. And they have a very sneaky game coming up this weekend in the playoffs. And this is going to kind of translate us to our playoff talk. They're playing the Tennessee Titans, who's kind of a hot ball club right now.
Okay, yeah, that's surging.
New Orleans put out the fire, but they was surging on New Orleans. That was without Henry. So Henry's running this ball, and if it's anybody who's played more games against the Patriots and more familiar with the Patriots defense and what they do, it would be Ryan Tannehill. And just so happened the head coach,
okay, well, yeah,
is Mike Vrabel. So this may be because the Patriots have problems. They're 12-4. They have holes, man.
Do they have problems?
But let me finish.
Do they have holes?
Because they don't call me Mr. Know-It-All for nothing.
Well, you better know.
So check it out. But the Patriots has always historically kind of limped into the playoffs, and you kind of like, I think they vulnerable this season, and then somehow a switch turns on, and they go into go mode. But this right here has a different feel because they're playing a Patriot on Sunday. They're playing a Patriot. Mike Vrabel, and we gave him a hard look, and I got to give him bones and credit where credit is due. He was not afraid, and that may be the Patriot way. He might have went in the front office and say, "Look, man, this Mariota thing ain't working, man. So either you brought me in here, and you don't let me do it my way, I'm gonna do something." Because he pulled the plug on Mariota, and check it out. Did you see him Sunday? He was using Mariota and Tannehill in the game at the same time.
It was like a few plays.
That's Patriot football. Mariota threw a touchdown. He almost threw a touchdown, man. So, and the way Henry running the ball, oh my God. I think this has a setup. To me, this has a setup. Because if the Patriots are going to lose, and they're going to lose in the playoffs, and as the dynasty is going to end, wouldn't it be to the hands of a Patriot of your own? What's your take on this? Number 12.
Yeah, because you know I'm coming.
You know, and this is a hot, this was hot. I was waiting for this.
Yeah, this is hot off the press. So let me tell you, I have a theory that the Patriot plays foosball, man. I have a theory that the Patriots go out and stage games. I'm serious.
You think they stage games?
I don't think they're throwing games, but I think they say, hey,
we can lose this one. It don't matter.
No, and I'm not going to even say that they can lose this one. I'm going to say that they don't give real game play.
Let me see. We're going to try something else.
Yeah, let's try
to see if it works. And if it don't work, it's
things.
Okay. If it worked, then we got another thing.
Because
I can see that.
Let's take it back to the Super Bowl or the perfect season. The perfect season. And they played the Giants the last week or the second to last week that season. Yeah. And they stuck it to the Giants.
They did.
They went out and they played tough ball.
That was when they went undefeated.
Yeah, that's when they went undefeated. And then they got in the Super Bowl. And you almost had to play a perfect game to beat the Patriots. Well, hey, the perfect game was managed by Eli Manning, a quarterback that had just saw them, and Tom Coughlin. They just saw them not even a month ago. A month or like 2 months ago. It was fresh, still fresh. I think that going forward, the Patriots say, hey, if there's a chance that there's somebody on that opposite sideline, Mike Vrabel, Tannehill, or if this is someone that could give us problems, we don't have to give them everything we got. This is one game. This is a battle. But we are at war. I think that this whole Tom Brady thing going stale, okay, I think there's some fire to that smoke.
You finally peeking in Pandora's box.
I think there's some fire to the smoke. I didn't say it was a forest fire. There's just enough smoke, man. There's just enough smoke to say, hey, maybe Tom Brady is slowing down. I think these guys are going to revert back to the earlier season, this season, because everyone said, oh, well, they don't have AB now. They don't have Josh Gordon. Okay, those guys weren't responsible for the whoopings that they were putting on the NFL earlier in the season where the defense had like 20 turnovers in like 4 games or something. Like, come on, guy. I believe that the Patriots are going to show up. Until the Patriots do not show up, I have to buy into the Patriots. I don't care about a Chief. I don't care about a Lamar Jackson. I don't care about Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes. Until you can beat the killer bees, Brady, Belichick, Brady, I cannot buy into it. Yes, I'm saying that the Patriots are going to be right there in the thick of things. And this wild card game against Mike Vrabel and Ryan Tannehill and Big Bruce and Henry is just going to be another notch on the belt.
Another blip on the Richter scale, huh?
That's all it is.
So you know what I think, and then we can move on a little bit and go into something else for a little bit. I think that a Skywalker didn't take down the Sith. One of his own took the Sith down.
Spoiler alert. After the fact.
Just think about it.
Yeah. But it was a Skywalker that taught him. So I'm just saying.
Man.
The last Skywalker that was alive had to be taken by himself. Luke didn't get slayed. He didn't get murdered. Luke said it's time. Until Belichick and Brady says it's time, then, buddy, it's time to game on.
I think Mike Vrabel was gonna say no.
So
no.
I got a little debate to throw at you because you and I got into it, and I don't really get into consolation prizes. I don't get into any of this, but there is a defensive rookie of the year that's on the table, and just so happened, Jay has a dog in the fight. I have a dog in the fight.
Okay.
So Nick Bosa, this guy is on the San Francisco 49ers. This team has definitely taken on a defensive image that comes with him as, if not the leader, one of the one, two, or three guys on the defense.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa has changed the culture for the defensive-minded 49ers. Now, on the flip side of things, Jaguars, not that great of a season. They did manage 6 wins, though. I said they would get 6 once everything went to crap. And I said, you'll get 6 wins.
I think I said 6, 5 or 6.
You came out the gate saying like
5
4.
4, 5, or 6. It was somewhere like
I think it was like 4. And then I was like, we'll at least win 6 or 7.
Oh, okay.
But you was on the low end too. But not that great of a season. But we had a rookie that has flown under the radar in little old Jacksonville, Florida. And it's Josh Allen. No, not the quarterback, the defensive end. Now, I know you're looking at wins and losses, and my beef with Jay is I'm sure Nick Bosa is going to be awarded the defensive rookie of the year because he's Nick Bosa. He has the NFL blood and pedigree. He's a Bosa brother and blah. Josh Allen had a better season than Nick Bosa. Statistically. Pro Football ratings, Pro Football Reference, all that, they have actually given Josh Allen high marks. If not similar to Bosa, one of them just has a slight edge over the other. So let's hear these stats. Nick Bosa, 32 solo tackles, 9 sacks, a forced fumble, an interception.
Interception what?
What, an interception touchdown?
Yeah.
Okay. 31 solo tackles, 10.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles.
It's Allen's.
For Josh Allen.
It's Allen's. Okay.
For Josh Allen. Statistically, the man has been everywhere.
So
statistically, the man plays
hold
all
up.
game.
Hold up. Theoretically, their stats are pretty much the same, correct?
Yeah, but for what they do, the job that they do, quarterback, pass rushing, Josh Allen leads the league for rookies for quarterback hurries and sacks.
How many sacks he got?
10.5, my friend.
How many Bosa has?
What do you have? 9?
He has 9. Okay. So
hurries, quarterback hurries.
Go ahead. Go to Herbers.
The hurry. I'm still looking that part up. You know, they try to lock down stats. So, what's your thoughts, Jay? Tell the people what your thoughts are.
About who do I think should be defensive?
Yeah, who's the
okay? I'm going to analyze this because I love stats. I always call stats for the guys working these grunt 9-to-5 jobs. And man, we got to have something to talk about on break. Okay, we got to have something to talk about on lunch in the lunchroom while we're eating the calf. We got to have conversation. When Billy Bob comes in with his Jaguars hat, and everybody's laughing at him because his team went 6-10. Okay, so check this out. The eye test tells you everything. So tell me who was the other defensive end for Jacksonville on the other side of the ball.
Yannick Ngakoue.
How many sacks does he have?
I think Yannick had like 8.
Okay, how many sacks does he have? How many Pro Bowls does he have?
You know, I don't know if Yannick has 1. I think he has 1 under his belt though.
How many sacks he had last season?
10?
Maybe 12.
10, maybe 12.
Okay. Who is playing beside of both of those guys?
Calais.
Okay.
Calais.
Well, do we need to break his stats down?
Legend.
Okay. You're going to say legend. He's good.
He's not a legend.
So no, he's great.
He's great.
He maybe could be a Hall of Famer.
He might can be.
Could be.
He might. And he doesn't have a bowl under his belt, but yeah, he might can be a Hall of Famer.
Okay. So, 49ers other defensive end is D Ford. Well, D Ford had a hell of a season, but guys, he missed maybe 7 or 8 games, maybe 10.
Yeah.
If he may have missed 10, I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there right now. DeForest Buckner, Solomon Thomas, Eric Armstead, and a lot of other reserves.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
So listen.
We're talking about man to man.
So hold on. I'm no man to man. I know. So the 49ers led the NFL in putting players on injured reserve. The last 4 games of the season, the 49ers only had 5 players who was on the 5 players. I'm talking about period on the roster that was on the opening roster defensively. On the roster, they had 6 players missing in a key game against the Atlanta Falcons. No, 7 guys was missing for that game. So, listeners, this is what I'm going to.
Yeah, come on.
Bosa has been double teamed because D Ford missed majority of the season. Bosa has been double teamed. His defense, number 1 in NFL. His defense, number 1 seed. His defense, 13-3. His defense only had one other coming into this season. He only had one other player on his team that had been to multiple Pro Bowls. DeForest Buckner just went to a Pro Bowl last season, but he was a Pro Bowl alternate. Sheesh. Ngakoue went to an AFC championship game just 2 years ago. He was the lead front runner. And Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell's been to 1 Super Bowl, and he was only the anchor of the Arizona Cardinal defense for 10 years. So all I'm saying is, listen, I like your guy.
No, you love my guy.
And I'll go on record because I own up to what I say. And I'll still say it now.
You want Josh Allen over Bosa, I know.
Bosa, I wanted my 49ers to draft a wide receiver. And if you know the problems that we've had with wide receiver this season, we had to go trade for Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, come on, man. Emmanuel Sanders is not a number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
So we had to go and trade for this guy. So I wanted my 49ers to get a wide receiver, and I felt like it was enough depth in the draft and in free agent pool that the 49ers could have signed the defensive end and still could have had an impact. Now, I was half right, half wrong. Because Bosa has been one hell of an impact on the 49ers defense. And this is a guy coming from a guy who I really didn't want Bosa. Not because of the talent. It was because of family history as far as injuries. And holding out and things along that nature. So, all I'm saying is,
I want to hear you say it.
Bosa's going to get Defensive Rookie of the Year, man.
But I want to hear you say what I really want you to say.
What's that?
Who you taking for a career player? For a franchise centerpiece? Josh Allen or Nick Bosa?
I'm taking Nick Bosa.
Foolish.
I'm taking Nick Bosa.
I'm done with
you. Not because he's in the red and gold.
I am done with you.
You know why I'm taking him?
I am done with you.
Because this rookie changed a team last season that won 2-3 games.
The team was going to be good anyway.
Wow. But we've had 18 players on defense.
I'm done with you.
On the injured reserve.
And then you said he has career injury. He has injury-prone, injury-ridden history. And you're going to take the injury-prone, injury-ridden history?
Yeah, because
over the thoroughbred, the systematic, the game-changing, culture-rocking pedigree of Josh, not a quarterback Allen.
You know why?
You're crazy.
Because other than
this is definitely new year, new you.
Other than
his
rookie season,
you're drinking the juice, man.
How good has Von Miller impact been?
Excellent. It's been excellent. Excellent.
Bosa does everything on the field. Did you see how he was harassing? He was running. And I'm going to do my Trey Winger. going to do my Kenny Man. I'm going to do my comparisons. Did you see how he was running like a gazelle after Russell Wilson? You know how many times I've seen Russell Wilson run for 10 and 15 yards on my Niners, man?
You're insane.
And not get caught? This guy shoestringed him at least 3 or 4 times.
You're bananas. I'm taking Josh, not a quarterback, Allen, over Nick Bosa.
Look like you're taking Doug Marrone, too.
Unfortunately, I've been corralled into this Doug Marrone foolishness, this Jaguar.
Hey, Buffalo Bill.
Buffoonery.
Buffalo Bill, Tonio Dollar Bill. He let you have it today, man.
Buffalo Dollar Bill. This segment is for you.
Hey, you know what, man? I seen the post and I didn't come in. I said, well, you know, I'm sitting on the other side of the fence. I'm not worried about anything right now because my team, we ain't leaving off the dock of the bay this year, baby, until we go to Miami. So I kind of left that on the other side, but I started to say, come on now. Hey, ain't that your head over there on that wall still on that nag?
Buffalo Dollar Bill Murray is what I'm going to start calling him.
Oh, you got
because this guy is in Groundhog's Day. Dollar Bill
2 years ago
has been in the same Buffalo Bill boat.
Who they playing
since what, 92?
Oh, they got Houston.
Since 92, man.
Yeah.
They've been in the same boat. Every day he wakes up.
That's the alarm clock.
And they be like, I got you, babe. Watch out for that first step. It's a doozy. That is Dollar Bill. Like, he has been in this whirlwind of Bill foolishness since 92, man. Not Bruce Irvin. I can't even remember his name now.
Bruce Almighty.
No.
Bruce Smith, man.
Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith isn't walking through that door. Eric Bowles is not walking through that door. None of these legends that's been in Buffalo. Doug Flutie is not walking through that door.
You got Josh, who is a quarterback, Allen, throwing the ball on Saturday. But this is my thing. Because we can probably
joke.
We've been dogging it. We're dogging on a dollar bill. So we can just go ahead and briefly run down these games a little bit. I want to take Buffalo. But who tell me, who's gonna make a play for them? Because Houston kind of up and down. You don't know who's gonna show up, but you do. Hey man, I tell you what, man. Hopkins, man. If I'm a cornerback, man, I might have Hopkins-itis.
Yeah, man.
So who is going to make a play for Buffalo in order to win this game Saturday?
You know, and that's the big question because, you know, all hate aside, you know, despite my rivalry and continuing rivalry with Dollar Bill, man, Buffalo gets into this spot often. And Buffalo is a good team, just like Tennessee. Very good team. Who's the stud there? Who's the star? Who's the game changer? Who's the one guy that when I wake up on Saturday or Sunday and I say, oh, man, I don't want to have to face that guy. Who's the guy? Who's the guy for the Bills? I don't see one. And this is the same type of Bills build-up that they didn't succeed with when they lost to the Jaguars 2 years ago. I don't see it. I do know Deshaun Watson, and they have more guys than the Texan guys. I'm going to go ahead and say that, too. I know that Deshaun Watson is over there on the sideline for the Texans, though. I know that J.J. Watt is going to be back over on the wow, it's getting chippy out there in that Florida State bowl game. I don't even know why we're watching this. But
just I'm a Florida State Seminole, man. Come on.
Just put it away, Jay.
Put what away?
Your Florida State pride, man. Put it away.
Oh, I'm going to always have the
pride. I put my Hokie pride away. I didn't even comment on them.
Well, that's you because you have a reason to.
Man, I don't know who's going to do it for the Bills.
We're Florida State. I don't know who's going to do it for Florida State.
You're doing it for Florida State and Friday Night Fowler.
Oh, Friday Night Fowler, man.
But I'm not sure who's going to do it for the Bills.
I'm sorry. Friday Night Fowler, if you're listening.
Friday Night Fowler.
And we're going to move on. We're going to move on and get back on the Bills. I told you about Oakland, man. Go ahead.
Oh, man. That new stadium looks nice.
Brilliant.
But, yeah, man, I'm going to have to take the Texans. in that game, and I don't even want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Texans.
But I'm gonna take the Texans. Who else we got on the chopping block for the games?
Well, the AFC games on Saturday. I liked how they split it up. Do they always split it up like that? I thought AFC one was Saturday, one was Sunday. NFC one was Saturday.
No, I think they do that for like the first round.
Oh, see, that's how long it's been since I've been.
I do have a question though.
Go ahead.
For the college football playoffs, it hadn't been a week apart for the championship in the first round, had it?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
So they play the first round, take a week off. And then they play the next game.
Yeah, they should never take a week off. They just had a whole month off.
That is doo-doo.
That's doo-doo.
But
so any coach who comes into that game unprepared, they never need to coach again. And we do have teams who be unprepared.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that. So you said the Tennessee Titans.
The Tennessee Titans and the New England Patriots. And I mean,
we talked about this game for a good bit.
Yeah, I'm taking the Titans.
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots, man.
Okay.
That's crazy.
And then on Sunday, what's crazy? Me taking the Titans.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing over there.
Man, I wasn't a fan of Henry when he came into the league, but for some reason, man,
he's doing it now.
Let me. You know how fast a giraffe runs?
Very.
It don't look like they're running fast. It look kind of awkward, don't it?
That long stride, man.
That's Henry. He looks awkward running it, but as soon as he start moving, you're like, oh, man, he can't take him down. I would never, if I was an animal in the animal kingdom, I would never try and take down a giraffe. It would never happen.
Well,
he's a giraffe running. So
giraffes don't bite.
On Sunday, that's really the juicy day. Because you got Seattle going into Philadelphia. And then you have the Saints taking on the Vikings in New Orleans. So first of all,
that's some good.
That's good. That's good juicy talk. I'm gonna hit this Philadelphia game very quickly because it really ain't too much to talk about. Philadelphia back into the playoffs. They do have home field, and if it's a rainy day, that can be a problem for Seattle because Russell uses his legs. It also can be a problem for Philly, as Philly has no depth. I mean, at this point in time, I'm playing wide receiver for Philly. So my issue is, yeah. It's odd, man, because I wondered, in the story of this game is beast mode. Let's just call it. I wondered how. I said, okay, now beast mode. Beast mode's coming back to the NFL, and just the last home game for the Raiders, he was passing out tequila shots. So he was passing out free. He was passing out free tequila shots there. So
well,
I'm curious. He did his interview. Did you see his interview? I say, okay, that's a different side from Marshawn Lynch. Because clearly he's a star now. Like he has the YouTube thing. He's always talking. He has his own brand. So you can no longer say
beast mode, boss.
I'm only here so I don't get fined. He can't do that. He has to kind of talk because people know he can talk now and have a personality. So he gave a little insight. He was a couple F-bombs and bad words in there. But do you think they have enough to beat Philly on the road?
Man, that's a tough game, man.
It's kind of leaning towards Philly. What you think? I want to say Seattle, but something deep in me is saying I think Philly gonna win this game.
I said whoever lost that number 1 seed and dropped down to number 5, whether it would have been y'all somehow dropping down to number 5, the 49ers, or whether it would have been the Seahawks somehow dropping down to number 5, which they are, and they have to go on the road and go into Philly and face a hot-handed Wentz and this Philly team that's just getting it done, man. Now, like I say, the Titans are a team that just gets it done. The Bills are a team that just gets it done. Philly just gets it done. But they have that championship blood in them. They have that knowledge and that experience of what it takes. It's a lot fresher than the Seahawks.
Yeah, and the only thing that troubles me with the Seahawks, and I'm just go ahead and say it, man. I've been sitting here, man, and being a role player has wooed me. I'm gonna take Philly in this game. Being a role player has wooed me, man, because I know the football gods. And the football cards don't give you second chances.
I don't know, man.
And I can, when I think back to that Sunday night game, you can never say this would have happened, that would happen. But I believe Seattle was in the front runner to win that game. And they let a delay a game come. It's always coaching issues when it comes to Seattle. And there's one freaking yard they have to get, man.
Man, what is the problem?
It's a yard. They always have issues.
What is the problem with the 1 yard?
With this one freaking yard. So they got to delay a game. They was complaining about a holding penalty that probably was kind of more of a push off from tight end Hollister than it was of a hold. But it could have went either way. And then they got on the 1 yard line. So they got back on the 1 yard line. And Dre Greenlaw, a backup for the 49ers, a linebacker drafted from Arkansas, makes the jaw-breaking hit. And Hollister, all he had to do was move the ball to the other hand, and it would have been a touchdown. And it's always a freaking yard with this team. And to me, when I know my football guys that I've been knowing my whole life, that yard is gonna come back to bite them, man.
It is, man.
It has to, man. It has to. That's the way of the game.
I don't know, man. As much as I want to take Seattle, something's telling me to take Philly. But I've picked every other team opposite against you so far this episode, so I'm picking Seattle. However, I will not be surprised if Philly is advancing to the next round. I'm just not going to be surprised. That's not an easy win. No. That should be good football.
That is good football.
That'll be the way to start back off the new year of my year, starting back at work.
So what about, I'm going to let you go first because I got my own interesting take on New Orleans and Minnesota. What you think about that game?
Man, this got some history to it.
Oh, lots of history, man. It's history all over the place.
This was the team that knocked them out from the Diggs long touchdown a couple years ago, right?
So I got a little farther.
Man.
This is the Parcells group. This Parcells coaches.
Oh, yeah.
They got ties, man. This was the defensive coordinator on Parcells' staff, and this was the offensive coordinator. This is crazy. If this is a mirror image of these guys keep clashing, man. For some reason, the universe always brings us Vikings Saints. Go ahead.
This is insane. I'm going to go Saints. I'm going to make it easy and make it quick. I don't think that the Vikings have been on the same page enough this year. I think they've been a little bit too dysfunctional at times. I think they still have a problem identifying their identity. Do not know how healthy Daquan Cook is going to be. He did end up missing some games down the stretch. He missed 2 games down the stretch. Separate injuries.
And Minnesota got some hell of a backups, don't they?
Yeah, man. They got backups all over the field.
I'm talking about backup running backs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they had, Madison come in for Cook. And then Boone actually had a good day. And then he didn't have a good day. But then last game, they actually did Boone and I believe Abdullah. And Abdullah was doing pretty well too. So the running backs coach, hats off to you. But I just cannot buy into this Vikings team, man. Especially regardless of them being on the road, the Saints are going to be inside where they are A1, A+ when playing. I got to go Saints, man. I just don't see the Vikings putting together enough of a game to knock the Saints out.
So what weekend we in? It's wild card weekend.
Wild card weekend.
It's going to be wild, man. It's going to be a wild weekend because if it's any other team other than the 49ers and NFC that you can see going into New Orleans beating them, it's got to be the Vikings.
Yeah.
The Vikings was rested up. They played all their backups and almost beat the Bears. And that's a tough defense. They almost beat the Bears last weekend.
Yeah.
So I got to believe that this team it's a reason why Zims let them get rested up. Yeah. It's a reason why. So this team has been up and down. You don't know which team is going to show up. But if that Viking team shows up that's really ready to play football, just think about that for a minute. Oh, man. That's going to be one hell of a football game.
Yeah, I can't buy into it, Jay.
You can't buy into it?
No, I can't buy into it, man. Oh, man. I'm not buying.
How many times has Kirk Cousins been to the playoffs?
With the Vikings?
Yeah.
Every time, I believe. 3, 4 times.
They went last year?
I believe they went last year.
You sure?
I'm not sure now. I will be.
I don't think so.
It's been a long day of podcasting.
I think he came on the season with a target on his back.
Well, Kirk can't get it done, man.
Kirk can't get it done.
He can't get it done. They're not gonna go into New Orleans and beat New Orleans. It's not happening. Not today.
Well, because I love the football guys, and I got something in store for you next week. I want the Saints to win. I'm going Saints.
Oh, you've decided to drink the wine with me this time.
Yeah, I got to drink this one.
So this must be all Vikings. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. It must be destined for the Vikings to go down there and take care of business. The voodoo daddy is going to be on vacation.
Daddy.
So, man, I don't know. It's been an exciting year. You know, I can't wait to see how this playoffs shape out. Oh, boy. It's going to be good. Like you say, Saturday games, not so much. Sunday games, big time. Cannot wait to see how these NFC games play out. But you've seen how we've played out. And we play out like we always play out. We rock out. You can find this podcast and all of our podcasts on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Home of the Role Players, Spreaker, which we have several other platforms for podcasting other than those. So search us, look for us. While searching and look for us, do not forget to find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Shoot us a DM, shoot us a message, hit a like, hit a heart, whatever you have to do. But whatever you must do, make sure you hit the play button, then the share button. That's right. Get us out there. We love the podcast. We want to keep this thing going. We want to keep the entertainment coming. Don't forget to look for us in the 2020 year. Got some fresh stuff coming along with my role player, Basham Bruddy. Philosophical Mr. Know-It-All, Jay. We're going to be taking names and you know what the rest is. But it's going to be fun, man. You guys have been great. We're going to go ahead and call this 2019 one more time for 1-9. And you guys take it or leave it. Love it or hate it. We are your role players.
2K20.
2K20, baby. See you next year.